And a major development, there are two people that survived Trump's latest attack on a vessel in the Caribbean. As we know, he has been attacking vessels saying that they hold drug cartel members and that he is on a war with these cartels. And so he has been striking and killing the people on these boats. Well, two people survived this latest attack, and this is going to create a legal nightmare and may very well bring all of this to a head. My name is Dina Doll with the MeidasTouch Network. Let's break this down. Now, reporting about survivors in this latest attack came out while Trump was in a press conference with Zelensky. And the reporter was asking Trump and Marco Rubio, who was also present at the press conference, what is going to happen now with these people? Again, this is in international waters that the Navy struck and killed. In this case, it was a submarine. 2 people died. 2 other people were rescued by the Navy, and they are right now being held on a Navy warship while the White House evidently determines what to do with them. Take a listen at their answer.
On Venezuela, there are survivors from your latest boat strike. What happens to those survivors?
Well, I'll ask Marco to discuss that possibly.
Yeah, it's well known there's an ongoing narco-terrorist operation the United States has been conducting. As far as details of any recent strikes, we're not prepared here to announce all those details, but you'll get that information here very shortly.
And how are there survivors when these are meant to be lethal attacks?
Yeah, again, I mean, we're undertaking these operations against narco-terrorists. That's what these are. These are terrorists. Let's be clear. And, but as far as the details of any recent operations, when we are prepared to announce those, we will, as the president has consistently done. So you may get something on that later today.
Let me ask you, that was in a submarine, right? We attacked a submarine, and that was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs. Just so you understand, this was not an innocent group of people.
Well, Marco Rubio has absolutely no answer there. Basically, nothing prepared because they have not prepared for this. And as it goes to Trump and his whole assumption that no innocent person owns a submarine. Well, in the United States, that's not actually the threshold. You have to have proof before you go around and kill people. Now, here's the situation. Now that they have survivors, they have to determine what to do with the people. They have a few options, none of them good, which is good for those of us who care about the rule of law and have been deeply disturbed about the fact that they continue to conduct strikes on the vessels in the Caribbean without any apparent evidence, or at least certainly not evidence they're sharing with the rest of us. Now, this was the 6th vessel that they struck. The other 5 were speedboats. This one was, in fact, a submarine. All of these, again, in international waters off the coast of Venezuela. As we know, Trump is trying to have regime change in Venezuela. He also admitted this week that the CIA has a covert operation going on in Venezuela to try to overturn Maduro. So this all seems to be connected to Venezuela because we saw him about 6 weeks ago authorize a large military presence to go down close to the shores of Venezuela. And he declared war on the cartels. The problem, however, is, for one, Congress has the right to declare war, not the executive. And 2, it is a very strange thing to say we are at war just because somebody is smuggling something, even if it's illegal, into the country. That is not something we have ever said we had to declare war against. We have crimes in criminal laws in this country, and smuggling drugs into this country is a criminal violation, not an act of war. So first, he is describing something that's an act of war that's never before been seen as an act of war. And secondly, he, as executive, cannot declare something as an act of war. We see a Senate bill being proposed in a bipartisan nature. We see Senator Tim Kaine, Adam Schiff, Rand Paul putting together a bill making it clear that Trump cannot declare war on the drug cartels without congressional approval. Most likely that will not pass, but it will require the Republicans to have a vote on it. And so for their constituents to take them to task on that vote. America First crowd used to be no war crowd. So that is important politically to make sure they are on it. And perhaps this new news may even give more momentum to that bill, because here's the situation. Right now, these two people are on the Navy ship in international waters. But will they keep them there forever? They have to do something now to these people, and they don't have a lot of good options because they didn't go into this in a lawful legal way. They could either, one, release them to a third party country and just wipe their hands of the people. Perhaps that is something that they will do or not do, but they would also have to really control what the people said once they got to the third party, et cetera, et cetera. So that is something that Trump probably does not like, the lack of control over what would happen to the people. Secondly, they could try to transfer them to Guantanamo Bay if they say they are in fact war detainees. But if they are war detainees, they have some rights under both domestic and international law. They have a right to be seen by the International Red Cross. We also know that lawyers can contest their detainment under habeas corpus. This happened under Bush when Al-Qaeda members were being detained at Guantanamo Bay. Habeas corpus is a general litigation that says that basically your detainment is unconstitutional. It doesn't apply to a specific statute, doesn't apply to a criminal law. It just says you are detaining me in an unlawful manner. And we have seen this habeas corpus, of course, recently when we've been talking about immigration detainments. But in this case, they would be saying that the government cannot lawfully keep these two people because we are not at war. And this may finally get in front of the courts whether or not Trump can lawfully declare war on these war cartels. Again, because not only Congress has to do it, but also because it's very odd to say drug cartels are something to actually declare war against and not just apply our criminal laws against. So that could get us in front of the court, that issue of whether or not Trump can legally not only keep these two men, but declare war on the cartels. The third possibility is they could bring them into civil court. They could say that they are violating our criminal laws. This, of course, will have to mean that they have to present evidence. Did they actually have evidence that these vessels were carrying drugs or they were part of the drug cartels? They have certainly not shared any of that with the public, which you think they would have if they had it, but that is an option. Them going into the civil court and using the evidence that they have to try to convict them. That, though, would also require these two men being appointed counsel, because in the United States, we have a right to a public defense. And they would have to notify the person that they had a right to a defense before any interrogation if they wanted any confession to be used in a court of law. So this quagmire, this is why we saw Marco Rubio at a loss for words. This is why we saw Trump go to his usual just trust me answer, because they don't have any good solution. They don't have any good option for what to do with these two people that just survived that attack. Just because your neck and arms might be covered this fall doesn't mean you should pretend they don't exist. Covered up doesn't mean forgotten. Your skin still needs love. That's exactly why GoPure created the Neck and Arm Cream Bundle, a powerhouse duo designed to visibly firm, smooth, and restore the look of sagging, creepy skin where it matters most. You know the drawer full of barely used products? Those creams won't be one of them. I have to say my neck cream is almost done. It is that amazing. Glides on, super soft, and just soaks into your skin. I even use it on my hands. Amazing. So GoPure isn't just about transforming the skin on your neck, though. They have a full line of science-backed skin and body care to tighten, lift, and smooth skin from head to toe. From powerful, targeted body creams to deeply hydrating retinol moisturizers, every product is packed with clean, effective ingredients that deliver real results without the harsh chemicals or hefty price. GoPure over-delivers on value with over 100,000 real women with real results. Right now, GoPure has a crazy deal. For a limited time, you can get 57% off the Tighten and Lift neck cream and the Sculpt and Tone arm cream bundle. You can also get 25% off all of their other products by using code MISTRIAL at GoPure.com. So head to GoPure.com and use code MISTRIAL for a huge discount. And after you buy, do us a favor. When they ask where you heard about GoPure, tell them it was from our show. And this is not the only thing we're doing with a country in South America. Our taxpayer money is also now going to prop up Argentina and perhaps interfere with their elections. As we know, Bessent authorized $20 billion infusion into Argentina, has now just increased that to $40 billion. This most likely helps benefit his rich friends. It also benefits the right-wing leader there that Trump and Elon Musk like so much because the voters are very unhappy with him and the Argentinian currency was going down. Well, this infusion has helped increase their currency and the election is just around the corner. Of course, this infusion has no transparency either. American taxpayers are paying $40 billion into a country and have no idea what they're getting back. They have no idea if there are any promises in return. Or is this just another big gamble? Scott Bessent is evidently widely known for his big currency gambles before that he has done for his billionaire clients. Here he's treating America like his own client and playing with hard-earned taxpayer money. Because the fact is the International Monetary Fund, which does go and help various countries around the world when their currencies go down, has had to pay out Argentina so much that Argentina payouts are 30% of all of the fund's payouts. This is not just a risky investment. It is historically a bad investment. Bessent's use of the Exchange Stabilization Fund is unusual. Usually the United States helps any country out through the International Monetary Fund because it spreads risk around. Not only that, but the Exchange Stabilization Fund, although its purpose is to help the U.S. currency, is also sometimes used to help the U.S. economy. In 2008, it was used to help industries that were just decimated from the financial crisis. It was also used to help during the COVID crisis. The fact is, when Bessent draws down almost all of the ESF in order to help Argentina, there's less there to help the United States if we need it in a time of a crisis, which seems to be looming around the corner between the tariff wars and all of the layoffs. And let's just talk about during this government shutdown, when people aren't getting paid, him giving our money to Argentina, and also around healthcare. New reports are showing because Obamacare premiums are basically renewed in November 1st, a lot of the pricing is coming online. And so we have the receipts for how much Americans' cost of healthcare is going to be going up. Kentucky evidently opened up its marketplace and a typical 60-year-old couple making $85,000 is facing a $23,700 increase in premiums. Yes, that sounds like a fake number, but is not a fake number. This is the devastation of what will happen if Republicans are allowed to let the Obama tax credits expire. So during the time that money could be used to help Americans pay for their health care, instead it's being sent to Argentina in this gamble risk that Bessent and Trump are trying to do. Between that and the legal quagmire he's getting us into with these strikes in the Caribbean, Trump is showing us that he just doesn't care about Americans, the rule of law, or how we will survive the economic fallout of what he is creating. My name is Dina Doll. This is the MeidasTouch Network, and this is also the Mistrial Podcast. If you haven't yet, follow us on Spotify or wherever else you listen to the podcast, and be sure to free subscribe here if you haven't already.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.